I'm Henry.
And I'm Robert.
And we're just two guys.
Welcome to our NFL pre-draft show. And we're excited to also let everybody know we will be doing a live draft show the night of the draft, the 23rd of April, Thursday night. We will be doing the live draft show up to Washington's pick at number 7. We will promo our show
on
Facebook Live, and then we will be over on YouTube. How exciting is that?
It's exciting, man. You never know what's going to happen in this draft, so it's just wow. What's going to go down?
And with the first pick in the 2026 draft, the Las Vegas Raiders take Fernando Mendoza.
I think everybody knows that's where he's going. Every pundit, every expert, that's where he's going. And they desperately need a quarterback.
And the Raiders also had a lot of drama this free agency. So with that drama, they were able to keep Max Crosby, which will help their defense. And Fernando Mendoza is a franchise quarterback that the Vegas Raiders are coveting. So it's a no-brainer for most people. Fernando Mendoza at number 1. I think it's the best pick for the Vegas Raiders. It'll help solidify their offense. They also need help on the offensive line because last year they drafted Ashton Jeanty, a premier back with a crappy offensive line. So I'm hoping that they do resolve this issue later in the draft.
Also, they have Kirk Cousins now, right? And he's a savvy veteran, 15 years in the league, right? Mendoza can learn some things from Cousins.
So you don't have to start Mendoza right off the bat. But I don't think the Vegas Raiders are going anywhere. So maybe after game 7, put him in there, finish the season out. Or start him at the whole season. Right. If he gets hurt, you have a backup. Big deal.
And I wish Kirk good luck being a former Redskin quarterback. I want to wish him well. And nobody knows better than Kirk how to make money in the NFL. You know? Never won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, with the help of Washington.
But he is amazing. Yeah, how he can make these deals happen. His agent is incredible. You know, good luck, Kirk.
With the number 2 pick, the New York Jets take.
I think they're going to take Arvell Reese.
I actually agree. I'm picking Arvell Reese as well. Mel Kiper of ESPN Sports also has Arvell Reese going at number 2. But the interesting thing about this draft, after the number 1 pick, after Mendoza's guaranteed number 1 selection, there are a bevy of players who could go in at 2. The Jets could take Sonny Styles, David Bailey, which many people think David Bailey is the defensive home run pick of this draft. So I do think that the Jets go defense, and we both think that it'll be Arvell, the linebacker from the Ohio State.
But again, you never know because Bailey might step up. They might decide to swap him. I don't know what could happen, but it's looking hopefully for them that it would be Reese or Bailey. Either way, I think it's going to be an edge rusher.
And I actually like Arvell Reese at this selection for the New York Jets. They have offensive pieces and they have defensive pieces. So Arvell Reese could make this defense more impactful. I think the main issue with the Jets was coaching and general management, and they changed coaches. So the team should be improved just by changing coaches.
Let's hope so.
For their sake. With the number 3 pick, the Phoenix Cardinals take
Francis
Mauigoa.
There we go.
Of Miami, offensive tackle. Now, it's a great pick, but I believe this will be a trade. I think the Phoenix Cardinals will trade down to the number 12 pick, and the Dallas Cowboys will move up to the number 2 pick.
It could happen.
Or 3 pick, excuse me. And Dallas will be taking, I believe they are coveting Jeremiah Love.
Yeah, well, the Skins would like to have
Jeremiah Love. And could be off on that. Remember, I'm not an insider. I read a lot, I study, and I put what I think is going to happen. I'd love to get on the inside. Hopefully, someday soon, I'll get on the inside with JP Finlay and some other local celebrity sports.
This is just
casters.
us spitballing here.
Correct. So, but I do believe that this is a trade possibility because I believe you can. The only offensive tackle that is first round worthy in the top 10 is Francis.
Yeah, and they need somebody to protect the quarterback because he got blasted last year. I mean,
Well,
how many
Phoenix,
concussions did Tyler Murray have?
their quarterbacks
Right?
have been blasted for the last decade.
It's
So
horrible.
something needs to change.
They need help.
But you can get a tackle later after 10 and still have an impactful player. So this is where I think a first trade will go. And we'll see if it happens. But if they don't, I do agree with Henry selecting the top offensive tackle at this position for the Phoenix Cardinals in Francis Malgo.
Not going.
Now, with the number 4 pick in the NFL draft is the Tennessee Titans. I'm just going to start off with this one.
You take it.
All right. I believe the Tennessee Titans are going to take Jeremiah Love. All the Washington Commander Redskins fans gasp. The reason why I think that is Jeremiah Love paired with Cam Ward. You just need to find a dynamic wide receiver. You can't go wrong picking a dynamic running back. There's a lot of change now with the thinking that, drafting a running back in the top 10 picks isn't the most glamorous thing, but I do think it would be a home run for the Tennessee Titans to take Jeremiah Love. Field Yates has David Bailey going at this position. And what do you have, Henry?
I have David Bailey because I look at the coach, Saleh, and I think he's going to try and remake the team in his own image. And he's a defense guy. And I think Bailey is the other top edge rusher in this draft. And I think he'd be a dynamic addition. And I think Saleh wants somebody who's quick, fast, and got that speed. And he fits the perfect. I mean, he fits the mold.
And I get that. Saleh is a
Yeah.
defensive guy.
Yeah.
And the Titans, the beauty of this draft, you can go anywhere and it's a home run for
That's
most of
right.
these teams. You can go
That's right.
anywhere. So I agree with the Tennessee Titans. Right now, I couldn't name one defensive player on that team.
Yeah, can you?
The only person I can name offensively was Chigo Kongwu, but now he's in Washington. And Cam Ward. And I forget their running back, but he came from Dallas. I forget his name. But I'm going with Jeremiah Love. Field Yates of ESPN predicts David Bailey. And Henry
David Bailey
predicts the same thing with David Bailey. Now, with the number 5 pick in the NFL draft, we have the New York Giants.
I think the Giants want someone on the other side of Malik Neighbors to have that dual threat. And I think they're going to go with Carnell Tate.
So I agree with what you're thinking. Mel Kiper of ESPN Sports predicts David Bailey going here. I like the Carnell Tate pick here. God forbid, I'm not a Giants fan. I'm a Washington Commander Redskins fan. But what makes sense to me is Carnell Tate. You have Malik Neighbors, Carnell Tate. You have your bookends.
Exactly.
You have Scatterboo. You have Tracy. The running game is not going to hurt. You don't have a dynamic running back, but you have a running back by committee that could be very special. Okay, Scatterboo before his injury proved to be legit, and Tracy can absolutely play.
Absolutely.
So the Giants, in my opinion, will go with Carnell Tate. Now, defensively, Mel Kiper believes David Bailey is going here, which I don't understand the thought process behind that unless there's a trade, because the New York Giants have a plethora
They're
of
loaded.
pass rushing
They are
talent.
loaded up front.
You have Brian Burns on one side, Abdul Carter on the other side. You have their defensive tackle who is now disgruntled and requesting a trade, Dexter Lawrence. But then you have Kayvon Thibodeau. You have a viable pass rush. So I think Carnell Tate makes that offense even more dynamic because they on free agency got Isaiah Likely.
That's right.
They have a healthy Scadaboo. Malik Neighbors will be healthy, and now you're surrounding Bo Nix or not Nix. Oh, I forgot his name. Bo Nix is in Denver,
That's right.
but you now surround their
Jason Dart.
Jackson Dart.
Jackson Dart.
You now surround him with
I think
talent
Jason.
to keep away the pass rush from Jackson Dart. So I really do think it's Carnell Tate here is a value pick for the New York Giants.
Again, we're spitballing here. We're gonna get names wrong, but what we're doing, we're having fun, right? And I want you guys to have fun. So I believe that it's going to be Tate, and we'll see. We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. I
know.
think it's going to be Carnell Tate. I don't think the Giants are going to trade down. Although, when you think about it, with this draft being so deep in wide receivers, there's been talk about possibly up to 20, 24 wide receivers that could legitimately be a number one for someone. That's a lot of wide receivers.
That's a hell of a lot.
The Giants could trade back as well. This is another candidate of a team that could trade back for more picks and somebody who wants to get ahead to draft a specific player. But I haven't been hearing any of that. But to me, it makes a lot of sense because teams now are coveting multiple picks every year and also trading for picks for the following draft. That's been the strategy to accumulate as much draft picks as possible. So now when you look at the number 6 pick.
Number 6.
With the Cleveland Browns. What is your thought on that?
Again, Cleveland needs everything, but they have to have some kind of a line, right? I mean, offensive line is this foundation for any kind of movement and protection for the quarterback. So I'm thinking they're going to go with Spencer Fano, right? Is it Fano or
Fano?
Fano. Again, another worthy offensive tackle who I think could be in the top 10, along with Francis. They're my 2 top offensive tackles. And I think Cleveland's going to go with Spencer. That's my feel. What do you think?
Well, again, the Cleveland Browns had so many issues. It just didn't even start with just that position. They can go anywhere, but I'm thinking David Bailey here. David Bailey.
Interesting.
And Miller, a ESPN analyst, an expert analysis, so to speak, has Makai Lemon of USC, the wide receiver.
Really?
Or Arizona State. I'm so sorry I have them mixed up. But Makai Lemon going here. Many prognosticators and talent evaluators say Makai Lemon is actually more dynamic than Carnell Tate. So that's saying a lot. And I don't think Makai Lemon is going in the top 10. I do believe David Bailey here at number 6 for the Cleveland Browns. You have, it makes sense to me because you have David Bailey on one side and Garrett on the other. You have more of a tough time tackling that pass rush. And now we come to the number 7 pick
for our Commanders.
NFL draft 2026. The Washington Commanders Redskins select.
I think they're going to go with Jeremiah Love. I think they need a dynamic running back to help Krosky Merritt. I think Love fits that bill. And I know you have Love going earlier, but I don't know. That's my take. I think the Skins will be able to get him or trade up for him.
We don't have assets to trade up.
Well, you never know.
We don't. I agree.
You never know.
But I think with the Washington Commanders, with the number 7 pick, well, Reed of ESPN says Caleb Downs, which is not a bad pick at all at this pick. I say, and I'm going out on a limb here.
You are.
Because what I do believe in this draft, I believe there are a few players that will amplify a total unit. Um, I think actually Caleb Downs could do that from the safety position. He can solidify a secondary with his play. But I'm going with Mansour Delane of LSU.
Mansour.
He is a
Mansour.
physical, tall, fast corner who thrives in press coverage, which Dan Quinn and the defensive coordinator of the Washington Commanders want to employ and want to
You incorporate that?
incorporate because the Washington defense is going to be very aggressive in blitz schemes.
Well, let's hope
So
they are.
I think when you have the defensive coordinator, and excuse me for not remembering his name, but when you have Dan Quinn and the new defensive coordinator, the two things that they've preached is creating turnovers. When Dan Quinn was in Dallas, his second year, they were number 3 in the NFL in creating turnovers. In his third year, they were number 12. So it was very key for the Dallas defense to create turnovers to have their success they did when Dan Quinn was in Dallas. He wants to incorporate that here. And with the new defensive coordinator, the passing coordinator that came from Minnesota is a descendant of Pete Flores' defense. And those defenses were in your face, creating turnovers, causing havoc, fumbles, interceptions. So I believe if you have a corner that is as physical and has a chip on his shoulder and can cover one-on-one, then you have Mansour Delane. Then I think that creates a dynamic in Washington with their revamped pass rush, revamped linebackers. Now you have a shutdown corner who will create turnovers. And you have to remember, Washington drafted Trey Amos last year, who was also one of the top cornerbacks in the draft. And he was doing excellent until his injury, until his fibula was broken. So as long as his healing process is on track and he comes back in great shape, I think that you have now bookends at corner with Amos and Mansour Delane. You move Sanders still to the slot or to another wide receiver when wide receiver sets are at 3 or 4. And I think you have yourself a defense that has corners who are now capable from 1 to 3. Mansour Delane, Mike Sanders still, and Trey Amos can all cover one-on-one and do a damn good job, which then allows Washington to be better on first down. They were allowing 6 yards per play last year. That is the worst. You don't stop anybody. So Washington revamped their pass rush. Washington revamped their linebacking core. They added a safety, a hard-hitting safety. They added another corner who can play the slot from Detroit. Now you add Mansour Delane, who can cover one-on-one. If you have 2 corners that cover one-on-one, that frees up the safety, that frees up the linebacker to come to the run and stop the run. That's who I think. It's not the most glamorous pick. I agree with Henry that the most loved and coveted pick, get it, love, is Jeremiah Love. I think if Jeremiah slips to number 7, he's coming to Washington. And the thought process with the thought process with that is if you have Jaden Daniels, Jeremiah Love, and a healthy Terry McLaurin, who are you going to double? You can't have a spy on Daniels. You can't bring in the safety to try to stop the run with Love. And you can't double team Terry McLaurin. You can't do all of it. There's only so many players.
That's right.
And with the dynamic play of Jaden Daniels, don't really give a crap if you disagree with that, but he's dynamic. Last year was bad, but he's dynamic.
Of course, he was injured last year.
With Terry McLaurin, and I know a lot of you don't really highly regard him. If he had a steady quarterback for his entire career, Terry McLaurin would be the 5th best wide receiver in the NFL.
He's a great receiver.
That's just the way it is. And last year when he played healthy, he had amazing catches. But each one of those catches hurt him. But anyway, I think you add Jeremiah Love is the most glamorous pick, and it makes sense. And if he does slip down, he's coming to Washington. But I think the smart pick
Could be Mansour.
with the things that Washington has done, you get a shutdown corner. Even if Trey Amos isn't a shutdown corner, but a good corner, if you upgrade your corner position with Mansour Delane, you allow yourself the ability to pressure the quarterback and create turnovers, create 3 and outs, and get interceptions and sacks. Your defense will be more imposing. You have a shutdown corner, a fierce pass rush. There's your defense. We all know, smart analysts and prognosticators know when you have a dynamic pass rush, your linebackers and your corners and your safety benefit from a dynamic pass rush.
Absolutely.
They make the secondary linebackers and safeties
Make them
better.
Make them better.
So if you're going to have this dynamic pass rushing defense, then I say take Mansour Delane and put him on an island day one, make him press cover
Mansour Island.
and physical. That's exactly right. That could be a moniker in DC. So I would think that that would be great. Now, there is also another scenario for me, considering Washington does not have a plethora of picks. I could see Washington trading down because there still may be some play. Caleb Downs may drop all the way to 11. Sonny Styles. We haven't even talked about Sonny Styles, and Sonny Styles in many boards is in the top 5. In many people have Washington taking Sonny Styles. I think with Leo Chenal, we don't need that.
No.
But I don't know where Leo Chenal is going to play in this scheme. So who knows?
Who knows what could happen?
And even Washington could trade down, and I wouldn't be opposed to that. But right now, I think Washington is one dynamic player on the offensive side or one dynamic player on the defensive side to become relevant again and playoff worthy.
I tell you what I do know, that this is going to be exciting. It's going to be wild. You just never know what's going to happen on draft day, right? So many possibilities, so many ways to go. Are people going to move up, move down? It's going to happen. Who's going to move where? Who's going to get who? I don't know, but it's exciting to try and figure this out. And that's who we have. These are our picks. Again, we're spitballing, we're having fun, and we want you to do the same. You with me?
Yeah, my little dog is at my foot. I had to pet her.
Are you with me? I think so.
So that concludes our pre-draft show.
Remember to tune in on Facebook for our draft show on the 23rd. We're going to be promoting it. It's going to be great. We're going to be live throughout the first 7 rounds. So it's going to be a whole hour of excitement.
We will be on YouTube.
That's right.
So we look forward to that.
Remember to follow us.
Follow us
on YouTube at Just Two Guys 2026. All right. We look forward to seeing you there. We look forward to seeing you for the draft show. And let's see what happens.
Have a good day, everybody. I like that.